Hi guys, welcome to Tuesday, April 21st. Let's get into our vocabulary first. The vocabulary word is allegory, the narrative form in which the characters are representative of some larger humanistic trait, such as greed, vanity, or bravery, and attempt to convey some larger lesson or meaning to life. Although allegory was originally and traditionally character-based, modern allegories tend to parallel story and theme, which is what we've been talking about more for the story and the theme for the allegories, for some main story representing something larger. But a lot of before this, it was, like it says, traditionally character-based. So a lot of classics, they have a certain character stand for a certain trait. If you guys have ever read Pride and Prejudice, or even heard of it or seen the movie with, I'm blanking. How am I blanking? Anyway, the newer version of the movie, and then there's a BBC TV series that runs by the book a lot better. But anyway, the book Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, the two main characters are representing those traits, and they do convey a larger lesson in the end. And you find that both of the main characters, Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy, both represent Pride and Prejudice, not just one representing pride and one representing prejudice. But they do both represent these two themes, or this allegory, larger humanistic trait, and having those traits, they learn a lesson, and they kind of help teach their family lessons too, by realizing that these traits that they have are negatively affecting their lives, and it ends up positive. Anyway, so that's an example of allegory. Also, let's get into what I want to go into today in my Google Doc, which you'll see in my video notes to remind myself. So let's make another blank document. And I'm not going to do the whole document. I'm just going to show you how to do it in text citation rather. So I am going to show you using Down at the Dinghy as an example, seeing as though we can keep with the theme and you recognize the text that I'm using and the references that I'm using. And we are going, and the theme I'm using, because I'm going to use the same thesis as I used when we were talking about before, which I have to now find. So give me a second. Pretty sure I do. Okay, so opening up this outline that we already did together, I'm going to be using this thesis statement, and I'm going to be using this quote. So analyzing the quote and connecting it back to the thesis statement, just like I showed you here. Anyway, just going to copy and paste it, make this easier on everybody. So first I want to show you kind of how to intro a quote. So I would be talking about Boo-Boo pretending to be an admiral and how that connects to the main thesis statement. So I'm just going to kind of type out the full paragraph just to give you an idea of how I would start this, and then lead into the quote, and then how I would analyze it back to the quote. So what I would do, after I've done the introduction paragraph, this would be my first body paragraph. So I would do kind of like a transitional thing where I'd be like, I'm going to put this in Times New Roman because it's old habits die hard, and I want you guys still to understand that it's a requirement. I'm coming up with this on the go, guys, so please don't, if I stutter a little bit or if I go back, I just want you to see this process kind of live just so that you get an idea of how I work through it, so maybe you can help how you work through it. So let's see, a great way to connect with a child is to play a game that interests them. Lionel is loves to play on family dinghy. Boo Boo, knowing this, approaches him with a sense of make-believe in hopes that he will open up to her about why he is running away. And then this is where you would intro the quote after 2 or 3 sentences in. So you can either intro it with a longer sentence, or you can even just say, for example. So in this case, I'm going to say, for example, when Boo Boo, trying to remember the quote, pretended to be a high-ranking official text stated, and then I would just put the quote because I'm copying and pasting it, which is another good reason, like I said, to put those quotes and such in your outline when you're making it, because then you can just do the easy copy and paste, and that is so much easier. And if you analyze the quote right here, you can just copy and paste the analysis, which is awesome. And then, so yeah, as the text stated, ahoy, Boo Boo said, Vice Admiral Tannenbaum, me glass. Come to inspect the spermatophores. And like it is shown here, just as I showed you in the outline, page number right after the quotes, and then period after the parentheses around the quotes. And then you would take that quote and analyze it back to or the example, because you can reference a scene as well, as long as you still do the page number, and analyze it back to the main thesis statement. So our thesis statement in the outline example was, in the short story Down at the Dinghy, the theme of keeping children safe from the troubles of the adult world are shown in. So it's all about keeping children safe and the theme of keeping children safe from the troubles of the adult world. This quote exemplifies the theme of keeping children safe from the adult world because it shows Boo Boo, a grown woman, protecting or connecting with the young son by playing make-believe with him make-believe with him. This allows a sense of childlike wonder and allows Boo Boo to help Lionel keep a keep some of his innocence. Or innocence or imagination. Change that to and. And there you go. That is how I would state it. I would intro the paragraph, intro the quote, and then connect it back to the thesis statement. So I'm showing that I understand that this is what quote is supporting it, and this is how it's supporting it. And then you would maybe add another sentence transition, or you just move on to your second paragraph. If this was a longer literary analysis and you were using outside sources, you would definitely have to have multiple paragraphs for example, but seeing as though this is just a literary analysis using just not comparing it to anything and not using outside sources or outside ideas other than the own that you come up with in your head, then it makes this paper much shorter, or this only needing to be have 3 body paragraphs plus the introduction and conclusion. So there is my example. I will add it to our slide for today, just that you guys have it. And then you guys should be, by the time you're watching this video, it should already be linked, or it is already linked. So make sure that you are taking the time, and when you are doing your second read through and doing your annotations for your literary analysis, think of what you want to be analyzing. Do you want to be analyzing the theme like I showed for Down at the Dinghy? Do you want to show characterization somehow for 1 or 2 characters? What do you want to focus on? And if you're going to be focusing on that, maybe start thinking about which quotes will help support your idea of this, okay? Or what sections, because it doesn't always have to be dialogue or whatnot. It can sometimes just be a couple sentences, or it can just be an idea that you get from one of the pages. So in this scene, this happened. All right. So if you have any questions, or if you're still having trouble picking out which of the 5 stories that you like and you want me to help you out, no problem. And don't forget, if you want to set up an online one-on-one meet with me, let me know, and we can set that up. Okay? All right. Have a good day.